Well, it looks like we're on. Let me see if anybody's in here. All right. Let me get the link here. Oh, hey, why don't you post this link into the chat over on Discord? Because I think... Can you see and hear me okay? Cool. Let me go over here. Okay. Is this thing still... Oh, did it turn off? Okay. Give me 1 second. Yeah. My Discord's being not cooperative, so I can't log into it on this computer. So I guess if there's anybody in there, we want to talk about some of the new Kingdom stuff that we got, such as this guy here. Let me get back over to get him. But if anybody has any questions, I don't think anyone's here yet. I think that's I see 3 people, but I don't see who they are. So everybody say something. Well, let me go into here. The thing keeps freezing up. I don't know why that is. Makes it be a little bit delayed. Oh well, I'm going to start transforming Cyclonus. I kind of have a idea of how to do that. So people were asking about his arms the other day, and I think that what he has here, the way his wings work, is actually pretty cool because they flip in and they flip out. So they don't just fold back, but you can actually orient them so that they look like they're part of him. And I noticed also one of the things that people used to complain about is how the newer Transformers have those hollow limbs that have the big gaps in them, but that is absolutely not the case with Cyclonus. He is very streamlined and very complete. So I think that's a really good thing that they've acknowledged and have paid attention to. And one of the things that they even went over during the live stream was that they would hear us and listen to what we have, whether the criticism or even the praise, but they work on these things about 2 or 3 years out from when they get launched. So whatever they're working on now, we're not going to see for 3 years, but they have adopted some of these things. That's why you see a lot of things later in the line, when the line first comes out and people have these opinions about it. Towards the end of the line is when it seems that they're getting it, and I think that's part of the reason why, is because it takes them that long for it to move through the process. So that's one of the things that I thought was interesting. Oh, and look, these little flaps, like, these don't serve any purpose that I'm aware of. I guess you fold them down for the transformation, but it's really cool that they took these plane flaps, these wing flaps, and it's just very articulate. So I'm going to get this, and I'm going to go ahead and spin this around. This is his whole chest. And then from here, this comes down, and this entire apparatus more or less telescopes out. So actually, let me put this down first. Oh, by the way, I don't read instructions, so if the instructions say a different thing, you're going to have to find somebody else to stream how to use those. I just play it by ear most of the time. And then this comes out here. And then once again, this flips out of here. So you get his entire nose cone oriented in such a way, but it doesn't show in robot mode at all. And then his legs pretty much just squish into place with these hinges that are on his knees here. And then they'll just go into place here. And then they attach to each other here. And then, I know I keep bumping the camera stand. So then these, his fists, will go in. Well, I just cut all my nails off, so I'm having trouble gripping some of these little parts. And this is technically the first stream that I've really ever done, so let's just consider this our testing phase of doing streams. But if you have any questions about what I'm doing or about what I have done, feel free to pop them into chat. And one of the great things about this line, especially in the animal, I keep calling it the Animal Kingdom, the Kingdom segment, is that the differences between their robot modes and vehicle modes are pretty striking. You don't really see a lot of kibble on either end of that. So as he is in his jet mode, get this. I think I probably missed a tab somewhere. But you don't really see any of the robot features, or at least very few. And then, of course, his gun can store up here. So that's Cyclonus. He's also got little landing gears. So when you display him just parked, that will support him that way. Yeah. See if I can get that off from over here. Like I said, my fingernails are kind of short. So that's Cyclonus. I think that the other thing that people asked to look at were Optimus Primal, which I haven't actually opened him yet. So here he is in all of his glory. The box art on these is really nice too. They don't have anything that talks about like their bio cards or anything like that, but someone in the chat asked what these green circles were for, and without getting into too much detail, they said it's part of the storyline. These are portals, and these portals pop up kind of everywhere, and that's how the universes or timelines merge in that way. So that's something that we didn't know before, at least as far as I know. So I'm gonna pop the tape off here. Now, if this were an edited video, I would just cut all this part out. But let's see if one of the things that you want to make a note of when you open these up, that's not the case with Optimus here, but a lot of times when you pull them out of their package, you see how his weapons are attached to the package here. Well, a lot of them, they're actually hidden in this little alcove, and if you're not careful, you might end up tossing those out. So be careful with that. Let me go get my scissors. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to clip off all of his little extremities here. He's a lot smaller than the original ones, but that's kind of par for the course. But I would say his detail probably exceeds the original one by a lot. Get it this. All right. Get his weapons out here as well. The other thing that all of these boxed ones come with on the side are these little cards that I'm sure you've seen. Now the thing on these is, and this is something else that was brought up by someone in the chat, they're kind of in there weird. It would seem ideal that they would be in like this with the golden disc showing, but that's not how they're being packed. So that could be something that they may just address in the future or didn't realize was an issue. And these cards are neat. There's only 4 of them in this wave, and they're let me get focused in on that. So these cards are these little hollow cards, and it's got the back. There's no information again, but they all have this part that peels off, and then you get to see alternative art underneath of it. And there are some Cybertronian text there. I don't know if anyone's translated those. These are basically stickers. I just leave mine on there, but I think this is like my 5th Dinobot card out of the whole group. So they do seem to have a different rarity ratio. Either that or I just randomly got a bunch of Dinobots. So here's Here's some close-up of Optimus. Let me see if I can... Yeah. Now I haven't transformed him yet, and I can just kind of do that. If there's any, there's 10 people in the chat now, so I welcome all of you here. If you have any questions, I can answer those while I fiddle with this, because I don't even know. I guess I'll resort to directions, even though that's not something that I usually do. Is it rubber skinned like Meg's? No, he is very solid PVC plastic. There's no flexible parts on him whatsoever. Even his weapons are very, I don't know if you can hear the clacking. They're very, very stiff. So, unlike Megatron, and to some degree, I forgot his name, Vertebrake. I'll pull him out. He's from earlier. His tail's very flexible, and his jaw's very flexible in dinosaur mode. So they definitely use this on a lot of the figures, but I think it just depends on what they're... I think the reason why they did it with him partly was too because if they were to make this in the hard plastic, the PVC, they wouldn't be able to make them this sharp. They'd just be like little blunt balls, and it wouldn't be very imposing. What do if monkey claw my face off? Well, first you call 911, and hope you make it out on the other side, I guess. I don't even know what... Oh, okay, so it's saying... First thing it wants me to do is... This is a button or something. That's why I hate this. Let me see. Push that in, and then those flip around. That's strange. I'm not sure what it's trying to do here. Oh, I see. That's part of his hidden guns. See a little... That's neat. Could you maybe do a size comparison between Warpath Cyclonus and something like ER Seekers or Deluxes? Yeah, I can do that. Let me see if... I've actually got Warpath. He's already transformed. He's actually pretty small for what he is, but let's see if I can focus in on that better. Yeah. So he's really cool too, and this goes into that flavor I was saying before, where they've built these in such a way that you don't see very much robot kibble in their vehicle mode. And I had a little, I don't know where this came from. It's from a long time ago. A little figure. He's to proper scale with Warpath, I think. Let me get one of my Voyager jets and Deluxes so that you know what to compare those to. So here's Thundercracker, and here's Barricade. Cyclonus is actually a fairly large figure. He kind of towers over everybody, except our pitifully transformed Megatron here. I gotta rearrange this so that it's temporarily over here. So Megatron's pretty big. I gotta put this back. I need a bigger desk. Like I said, this whole thing was impromptu, so do the white treads on Warpath. Oh, you hate the white treads on Warpath. I think they're just trying to stay consistent with it the way it used to look in G1. I know this Megatron. The hardest part over here is his hips. They're supposed to tab into place in there, and I actually had a hard time getting them separated, so that's why he just kind of flopped together there. And then his legs have these pads. And then this is the rubbery part that y'all were asking about. But this is what he would be compared to. We'll just do a side by side, holding them up here. So he's roughly the same size to head, but Thundercracker's shoulder pad things, they stick up a little bit further. And then do you feel that they're worth being called a Voyager? Optimus Primal. Well, it's been a trend for the Transformers to get smaller and smaller. But what I think that sets these apart from just using up less plastic, they're almost masterpiece in terms of transformation in a lot of ways. Like, they're very complex. You see these guys that have, like, 19, 20 steps. They don't seem like they're going to, even the small ones, they don't seem like they're going to be that much of a issue, but they totally have all these little steps and panels and things like that. I don't even know. Yeah. Get this thing. I'm just going to say, I don't know why I'm so terrible at animals, but good at vehicles. But this is what I don't know, what was the Combiner Wars, I guess, was this a leader class back then? This is the Combiners Wars Megatron. It's been custom painted to G2, but you get the idea. It's very small comparison. They're tanks. Oh, his gun's all telescoped out now. I don't even know why he's falling apart over here. And then, actually, I'm just going to set him down. His eyes, I get that they were okay. It's a Wise Kingdom. I don't actually, just trying to see what everybody's saying here. Any hidden thrusters on Primal's back? I don't see anything like that. I see his little butt there, and he's got these. My problem with these guys is that I'm very hesitant because I feel like I'm going to break them. Megatron, I had a problem where his leg popped off a lot when I was trying to transform him. But I'm not seeing any jets or anything like that. So, but he does have these guns, and they fold in. Let me see if I can get keyed into what I'm doing here. Do you eat the corn the long way? I don't know. I guess it just depends on... Oh, never mind. So this is going to go here. And this is going to go... He's not much different in that regard. He feels like a lot like his original Beast Wars counterpart in some ways. Which I really... Is that his front or his back? Yeah. I really... I still have it somewhere, but it's tucked away in a... tote somewhere. Probably didn't get him exactly right. Let me see what his box says. Oh, you want to see something neat? Oh yeah, he's way off. His legs are all bungled. But he's a humanoid figure that transforms into a humanoid animal. So, but here's something that I thought was cool. Someone pointed this out on the chat as well, and I don't know who it was, but in the box flaps here, they have these, the eye, which is reminiscent of the original Beast Wars, and if you look carefully, you see that it's the arc launching, so I thought that was pretty cool. But and do you want to see Warpath in his robot mode? Because I can do that as well. This part comes off. This was one of the parts that were hidden in the underside of the cardboard. And then it's just a lot of panel flipping and folding, which I think is great because I think it really adds to the flavor of it being a transformation. But it can definitely be nerve-wracking if it's... I've only done this like half a time, so flip these down. Still, I think I have a better chance with these guys than the machine ones, or the robot one. God damn it. Oops. Than the beast ones. But yeah, this is something, hey, someone would say, hey, why don't you ever do reviews on your channel? And being like a complete moron transforming these things is the reason why. How much is the value of the... Gosh, I couldn't tell you that. Last time I saw one, it was upwards $400 or $500. I've never actually owned one, nor have I really ever attempted to own one. They're pretty cool, I guess, but that wasn't a character that I really became attached to. Put his little skates on, his little shoes. See, they make such terrible noises. It makes me think I'm breaking everything, but this flips around here. So you kind of just construct his legs out of a bunch of panels, and in theory, that's pretty cool. And his little cannon telescopes in and out, and that's... Get his head out here. I think I don't know what to... You'll buy Overlord for $10. Well, I couldn't tell you one way or the other whether that's a good deal or not, since I've never messed with that character. There's his head. And then this telescopes in to his chest, and then these flip up. I had a hard time with this back flap when I was turning him into a tank. I may have actually screwed that up because I had to take a piece off to move it, and I think I'd probably put it on wrong or something. Oh, there we go. So, as most of these new deluxes, he's questionable in size. I mean, even if you compare him to him, he's a little bit smaller, which is odd for a tank, but the mini cars seem to be the ones that get that treatment the most. So that could just be a progression of the theme of trying to stay true to G1. The golden disc cards, yeah, I kind of went over it. Basically, they're just collector cards. They don't really have a purpose, as far as I can tell. But this is a sticker, and when you peel it off, it reveals another card underneath. But I just leave mine stuck on there. Let's see. Yeah, he's definitely more in the cliff jumper camp and bumblebee camp, which I guess this is supposed to be a shield or something. Get this thing on here. But yeah, I like him. I think he's cool. And the other thing that he can do, which I'm going to tell you this too, like these fossilizers, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with these half the time, but they break apart, and these are the ones that they can wear as armor. So you got these weird things you can put them on these little guys, and they wear them as armor. I haven't really messed with him that much. That's why he's a pile of parts. But I do think this is cool. He comes in the spirit of Beast Wars. He's the only one that does this, I think. Let me see if I can get him on there. He's got this little helmet that flips down with the skull mask, which is pretty cool. And then, so you can probably get him back into his robot mode. But the fossilizers have an origin too. I didn't. It stands for something. I posted it in one of the Discord channels. I forgot what it is off the top of my head, but they were. I mean, I just think it's nice that they're doing a new segment to the line. We don't have to rehash everything. They actually take the time and the effort to give us more different stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, they're pretty neat. And then I definitely like Vertebrake here. Oh, these are so tiny too. If you want to see tiny, let me pull Rat Trap out here. These, I didn't know Rat Trap was going to be that tiny. I guess I always took him as a deluxe, but it makes sense that he's little. But he's little. He's very little, even compared to him. I don't know if that's even. I don't know if you can see how little he is based on that. But then if you compare him to like Megatron, that's almost to scale. Get back out of here. Let me see. Oh yeah, there he is. So here he is up next to Optimus, which I think they're in pretty good scale with each other in that regard. Hello, Rodimus. Welcome to the channel, or to the stream. I feel like my quality went down. I don't know if I'm lurching or not. Okay. So I'm going to put this back with him. So there's that. Let's see what else I got in my box. I guess I can turn him back into a robot. It's interesting that those leaks came for the new waves, like almost just the day after these were officially shown to us and the embargo was lifted. I kind of wish they didn't stress on it too much, but I know that that's not something that they're happy about. But we just kind of, play it by ear on these, and I think that's part of the reason why they sent those out for us to look at and to kind of share. See his leg? This thing falls off a million times. To get that word out there, so that we can share these like through legitimate channels, so that we know what they come with. We know what they do. They have instructions, and that's what people kept asking me, which I thought was a weird question. Does it have instructions? I'm like, yeah, it has instructions. Since when did they don't come with instructions? But I'll be honest with you, I don't watch those leak reviews very often. I might skim through one just to see what it looks like, but I try to stay as official as possible when it even just comes to spoilers, because I like to be surprised. It's not like the good old days when you just walked into a store, like before the internet, and you saw something on the shelf that you had no idea even existed until you saw it. I miss those days. But that's just probably boomer speak. Let me get this in here. It's hard to transform him without saying yes. So this thing was also kind of a weird pain. very hippy flippy. So this thing, when you first transform it, his waist, to get it off of robot mode, it feels like it's gonna break. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of give there, but you just kind of have to wiggle it to get it off there. And then once you do that, it makes sense. As you might have noticed, his leg fell off again. I think this goes, kind of snaps on. There we go. And then I've lost his head. I think I forgot to take his head out. Yeah, I'm just kind of winging it, so. Energon Omega Supreme. When I remember, of course, I'm probably older than a lot of you guys. Maybe not all of you, but I went to a hardware store with my dad in, well, it's probably end of like Christmas '85, early in the year, and I saw a white Optimus Prime and the giant city robot, and I was blown away. Because this was before the movie came out, this was before everything. And I was trying to tell my friends about it, and they're just like, you're a liar. I'm like, no, seriously. This is the very first time I saw Ultra Magnus and Metroplex, which was cool as hell. He's got so many. This is where the rubbery stuff kind of fails, because just of the fact that I am very much concerned that that's going to dry rot one day and just like break off, because I've had other figures do that with the rubber parts. And then get this back up here. And of course his leg. I think that's just a me thing. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody else have that issue, but it just won't stay put. So there he is, back in his robot mode glory, and he kind of towers over old Optimus there. Let's see if I can get this back down here again. Yeah. He's quite a bit larger than Optimus, but I think he's a leader class. I'm not actually sure. I forgot to check on that. So, I don't know. I like these guys a lot. I was never big into Beast Wars, but these guys definitely sell it for me. And I'm glad to see that the entire War for Cybertron trilogy loops around the way the G1 trilogy, or the G1 original years, did. Because, G1, of course, was the kind of more than meets the eye through the end of Beast Machines. There wasn't really a hard reboot until after that. So, it's all kind of playing on the history of itself. Here he is compared to Rat Trap. At first I was kind of put off by Rat Trap because he was so little, but I think it's perfect for him. And when Dinobot comes out, they're going to be a good pair. And they actually, let me find this one. They were kind of concerned about this, the little Optimus Prime. They weren't sure if that would be something that we liked or accepted. And I think what it boiled down to, the consensus, was that as long as there's a full-size Optimus Prime in the entire series, then the little one's going to be fine. Because this little guy, for how little he is, his complexity is pretty on point. He's got, as they say, he's got a really good profile, almost masterpiece That's, you know, what he looks like. I'm not too happy about his truck mode. I don't really care much. But for a little guy like this, you get him in here, and he's got a lot of shifting parts like the bigger guys do. It's almost like a deluxe engineered for tiny size. I just broke his thing off here. That happens a lot to me, and I don't know if it's just because I have such big hands or if people I really couldn't tell you why. Let me see, this spins around, and then these, again, I'm doing this completely without instructions, so then these go in. I'd probably want to paint his wheel covers silver. I never did care for the fact that they're so very often neglected. But even for that, though, these guys have great little paint jobs. Like his little Autobot symbol is painted on there, and even Rat Trap. Let me get it going here. Even Rat Trap. Oh well. Rat Trap has his little Maximal symbol, like on his. Where the hell is that? On his arm. You can. It's so tiny. Like, I don't even think this camera will get it. It's not a very good camera. But there's a. I mean, it's got to be like a millimeter in size. It's crazy. Much better than the stickers. But he's just so little. These would go great with the Titans. You know, if you could get a whole bunch of these scale ones. I know there's a whole small scale series out there that people get that I haven't messed with. The only thing I don't like about this is that I feel like the front of his truck is a little long. Like, it's not a square like you'd expect from G1. But it's pretty cool. So, and I didn't open this either. I don't even know what I'm going to do with this. This is the Kingdom repackaging of Earthrise. So, I do like the box art, of course, but I don't know that I'm gonna open this one at all. Maybe I'll have a contest for it. I don't know. I don't think Optimus is rare. Here's the other one that I can chalk up to. I don't know. I didn't really make it into robot or into spider mode. You could pretend like it is Jinrai. Like, you could just treat it as a completely different character that's at that scale too. Like, maybe it's maybe it just is him. It's one way to look at it. I don't even know how I got it into this mess of a shape. There we go. I do I think this is way better than the original one, but it's so fiddly. And I broke it. That's why I always have to be careful, because I'll end up doing something with it. I don't remember how this thing. I don't even remember how I got her into this state. I know the arm's got to go up, but I'm not. Well, I'm going to give up on Black Arachnia for the moment. If you want to see that, I'll have to take some pictures of it, I guess. Sorry about that. So I guess it's been almost an hour. I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you got any more questions or anything you want to take a closer look at, I can answer those now for you. Who's not rare? Ah, that's how you do it. Flip it around that way. Calamite, who's not rare? Energon. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, you're talking about Earthrise Optimus. Yeah, I think he's showing up at Ollie's or Ross, one or the other. Ross, yeah. Okay. They've just done such a good job streamlining their robot forms. I think that's There we go. Well, I got her into robot mode again, I guess, for the most part. Spin this thing around. All these little details, like even just these little flaps here, that goes into making her abdomen as a spider. And they're very, it's just like there's just a little part that moves. So, but yeah, very true to the original animation model in a lot of ways. And it's just a very clear, good representation of the original cast. I noticed this purple on Megatron shows up really bright on some photos, but I don't think it's as bright as some of those photos out there make it look, by the way. So, well, that is about it then. Like I said, I appreciate you guys stopping by. If this is something you want to see more stuff done, unboxings and things like that, I can definitely arrange a better work area to do that in. We can go on with this and have some fun. I like the Q&A, so if anyone again has any questions about that, we can do that again too. But I guess I'm going to end the stream, and I'll get back to you guys on Discord soon. Allspark.com, forums, all those wonderful places where we all hang out. So until next time, goodbye.